Start recording. Hey everybody, I'm Ben from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Miniature Monday, your weekly news and new releases for the top miniature war games out there. Before we go into what we've got for you this week, let me introduce my co-hosts for today. We have got first up Ian Warhannam Hannam. Ian, how are you?
Hello, yes, I'm great, thanks, and particularly pleased it's audio only as I butchered my hair with a lockdown haircut.
So Ian is a pro painter, basically. Multiple award-winning painter, and has a brilliant blog as well, which we'll put in the show notes. Ian, thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And then we have got, in certainly not last place, we've got Bloodtithe Ben, my regular co-host for the Bonehead podcast. Ben, how are you tonight?
I'm also glad it's audio only.
It's funny, we've got Ian with no hair and Ben with apparently loads and loads of hair.
Yeah, too much hair.
Yeah, talking about Ben's with loads of hair. That's me back in the day before the apocalypse happened and I went full prison haircut. So yeah, just a quick video intros for each of us, that you can see some of the work and some of the hobby goodness that we've been up to, either recently or in the distant past. Ian, when we were games designers.
Yeah, we were a big deal once.
We were. That's still days of what was it? Seasons of War, Days of the Conqueror is still selling copies, you know.
Hooray!
As is Engage.
Copy or copies?
Copies. Every now and again, someone takes a punt.
Give James Workshop a run for his money.
Yeah.
I love James Workshop. He just reminds me of the guy from the IT crowd.
Yes.
The Sun. I like that. I like that a lot. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us. So, this is Miniature Monday, presented by the Bonehead podcast. The Bonehead podcast focuses on Blood Bowl. Basically Blood Bowl. We go a bit wide sometimes because I have an obsession with monsters and wizards, and that makes sense. That actually what we're going to do is we're just going to have a show once a week and just talk about all the other news that's going on in the war games world. And we've got Ian, we've got Ben. These guys are 40k players and big time AOS players. Maybe not top tier tournament players, but as we were saying,
yeah, heavy caveat.
Ian has won many trophies at AOS tournaments.
Yeah, for having a pretty army rather than actually knowing what I'm doing at the table, at least.
That's the best kind of trophy, though.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I meant participation trophies, but well done. That's good.
I haven't actually won one of those yet.
Have you not?
Not a sports one, no.
Oh, we'll see if we can't crowdsource something.
Have to try harder, yeah.
Have to try harder, yeah. Just stop painting so well.
Be nicer.
So what we're going to do today is we're just going to go through a bunch of news that's happened in the last week, and talk it through. So you should be clued up on what's going on. When I say top miniature games, basically today we're going to be focusing on Games Workshop, but when other companies do come out with interesting things, so that goes from Flames of War, Infinity, if there are big releases or big new releases or third parties. So Ben, what's the name of that company you love with all the resin cast stuff?
Oh, Artel.
Artel, there you go. When we get new releases and things from Artel, I imagine that Ben will be live gushing away about them. So I think... Right. Let's go straight into it, and the biggest bit of news is something that you guys watching probably have heard something about. We got a new Warhammer 40,000 logo that's slightly wonky.
Well, yeah. I've seen two versions on the same site, actually, on the same page. Because if you watch the videos on that page, some of them are aligned slightly differently. So they're obviously so just doing a bit of market research and
to see how much attention we pay. It is a bit brutal. So yeah, we allude to it. There is a new edition of Warhammer 40,000 that's been announced, and they did a really great job of doing the stream for Games Workshop. Did you guys catch much of the Twitch stream?
Yeah, watched it all. It's really good.
Watched it all.
Unfortunately, I missed it live, but I have been looking furiously and trying to get every bit of information I can. That video is incredible.
It is.
It was so good.
It is so cool. It's what is it, like 4 minutes long, so we're not going to play it, but just go over and have a look. I'm sure you've already seen it. It did allude to some new units in there and some new weapons. I know, Ben, you're particularly excited about the prospect of having chainswords on Primaris Marines.
I mean, yeah, been there, done that. No, it's
having already done that.
No, it's a cool concept. I love them. I think they look really good.
Yeah, and female Guard as well mixed in. I think
Yes.
that's been a long time coming, really.
Yeah,
well,
I think ever since the Space Marine, the third person action game, I think it was Relic.
Well, it's
Relic
always
games,
alluded to in the lore that they're mixed regiments. And
Hey,
things.
hey. There was a female guard, at least one, in the Last Chances when they came out years and years ago in 3rd edition. Absolutely.
Yeah, convict.
yeah, there was
might be nice to have one actually serving.
So we'll quickly buzz through some of the news. So yeah, chainswords are back, and because of that, what it means is that there are assault intercessors coming. So your reavers aren't just the murdery Primaris Marines now. It's going to be these guys. Interesting enough, called assault, but no jetpacks. Do you think we'll see jetpacks for these guys, or are they just going to be ground pounders?
I think we will. I'm not sure. I think we would see the melee like Inceptor variant.
Yeah,
we've got. So I think they're doing that for these, and then they might do the Inceptors as well.
Those are the big flyer guys, aren't they?
Yeah, they're kind of the Primaris jump pack guys.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's
really
cool.
Nice. And big hole in the market, these guys, I think, because when you've got chapters that are really meant to be assault chapters, like your Blood Angels and things like Space Wolves and things.
Yeah,
Black Templars.
It's I think they've done a great job, and we'll see this kind of as a theme in this whole release, really, filling in the gaps,
adding more variety. It does seem like they've got this great universe, this great model range, and they're just kind of opening it up a bit. So yeah, I agree with you guys there. So new Necrons, what did you think to the new Necrons?
Oh, this is amazing. I mean, what they revealed, they only really revealed the warriors, didn't they, on the stream?
They did on the stream. Yeah, we do have
quite a bit since a
couple of pictures. There was a second page, and we'll go to the second page where there's some of the new other units that are listed up, and a picture of what we are all expecting is going to be the next box set.
Yeah. Or elements of it. I'm not sure if the whole lot is going to be it.
That is
fair
enough.
Love doing stuff with Necrons is retconning, isn't it? It's like the retcon Necrons. They
like
the whole like warrior thing. I feel they've gone in a new direction with the warriors, where they're kind of now expendable chaff. That's why they all look all beat up now, whereas before they were quite pristine. And I think they've said in the article that their reanimation protocols have changed somewhat.
Yeah, they're lower tier guys, so they don't get high priority in the regeneration chips. Might have my lore a bit mixed up then with a different franchise, but yeah, I mean, I think they said they're going for a more undead vibe with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So could see slightly less armor, could see maybe less BS. I mean, are these guys 3+ to shoot?
They're like Space Marines, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It'd be interesting to see whether these guys are cheaper, essentially like conscripts, where they have BS 4+ maybe. Don't know.
Yeah, and in terms of armor as well, if they're a bit more beaten up, will they go to a 4+?
Yeah, a 4+, undead feeling Necron. I tell you what, that does actually fill a void, kind of in the archetypes, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. No. Yeah, I think it does.
There isn't really.
To be honest, I mean, the models are fantastic. So.
Oh yeah.
I think it's really nice actually when you see Games Workshop release kind of an update to a concept which isn't making it bigger, making it kind of, like Primarising them, basically.
It's making it worse. Done a great job. It is really interesting. You're quite right. There's more design space there. So yeah, maybe next maybe in 2 years' time when they bring out 10th edition, we'll see weak Space Marines.
We've already got them, haven't we?
Got scouts.
The little dudes.
Oh, the little dudes. Original.
Yeah.
And then we saw the release of a interesting cover, but another novel coming out from Games Workshop, set in 40k. Did you guys catch the bit on Twitch where they described this?
Yeah, I think they cut Guy Haley off in the stream, didn't they?
Did they? Oh, that's brutal.
Talking, yeah. No, but I think it's going to be interesting. I like the Horus Heresy series is absolutely phenomenal. And the fact this is kind of the new Horus Heresy series.
Yeah. So what they said was that with the Horus Heresy series, they got to explore a load of lore and kind of grow the story. And they're taking that element of the depth of the Horus Heresy with the individual characters and stuff, and they're taking it into basically the most modern point of 40k, isn't it? Because this is happening right now, essentially, in the timeline.
So is this going to be based around the Indomitus Crusade?
Yes.
Or kind of, yes.
Yeah, and
I think the key point he said, well, in Horus Heresy, everyone knows how it ends. Whereas
in this
this,
you don't.
even some of the writers
Got a lot of
don't know how
freedom,
it
haven't
ends. Exactly. Yeah.
No one knows the end game. Yeah.
And it's just going to keep on growing, which is really cool. So I actually like that. It's been a while since I've read a 40k book, but I think this one might be worth a look at, or maybe I'll just Wikipedia it when it comes out and catch the story.
Get the main story beats.
Yeah, it'll be all over Reddit. So did you see the other video, the 9 great things about the new edition?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I'm very excited.
There he is.
See, look, I mean, with the R there.
The logo. Yeah, you're right. It's different.
It feels like the main logo is kind of in the motions of being like
Yeah, they're nailing it.
part of the video. Yeah. So we won't go through all 9. I'm hoping they're listed, but they're not listed. So we can zip through them. But can you guys remember what the top things were?
Yeah. Go on, Ben.
Big one for me is terrain having kind of a function, because 40k is pretty devoid of real terrain rules.
Yeah. So that was I mean, they haven't actually expanded what that means, though, have they?
No, I mean, yeah, we don't. We could all just be hyping ourselves up, but I'm hopeful.
I can see them doing something like AOS, where they've got terrain has traits and things like that, which
that would be very disappointing.
That would.
No, they said they want terrain to have more of an impact, not less of an impact.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, if you get +1 to your psychic powers.
I don't know. I don't know. The AOS rules are absolutely soggy when it comes to terrain. They are. They don't exist. They don't exist. Terrain does not exist.
Everyone just forgets about them, and then it's random. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the AOS terrain. Sorry, again.
I like the original table, but I'm not. I haven't actually really even played with the new table.
The right. Okay. Let's focus on this. The terrain impacts, like where you have the what did they call it at first? Mystical terrain or something? Dangerous.
Yes,
yeah, that was cool. But the actual way that terrain itself interacts with the battlefield has been washed in AOS.
Yeah.
But with 40k, one thing they did is if all these people who've built really great tables, that terrain is going to do stuff. So I hope that does mean it's going to block line of sight. It's going to force maneuverable lanes, and they did say that in the video that you'll be able to sneak around, you'll be able to hide from guns and things.
Yeah, it's not like you can fortify stuff a bit more and things like that.
Yeah,
It's always been really vague as well. Like, it's like, does this get cover? Does it? And then it's always just kind of boils down to, I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully they'll have some like solid categories of stuff. Like low cover does this.
Honestly, it'd be like it was back in the day.
All of that stuff.
Yeah.
So there was the Crusade.
Take away the ambiguity.
Rules. We should probably talk about the Crusade.
More command points.
That was it. Yeah. Command points.
That's one of the things.
Everywhere. But they said give the soup armies more CP. So I wonder if that's
no, the opposite. I thought
it was the opposite.
Oh, was it really?
You'll see less soup armies because you're not, focusing on cramming in loads of like sub formations and things like that.
I see.
To get CPs and... Right.
Cool. Well, that's cool. I mean, CPs. I mean, I think in all the games we've ever designed in, something like that has been a factor. And I like it. I like having the menu. I think it works well. Although in the game I saw you two play in 40k with the decks of cards, there was quite a lot going on. I mean,
we were playing in a way where we had the cards, because the cards were doing 2 functions basically. So one, they were setting the kind of missions and the point scoring, but also you've also got your stratagem cards, which you don't actually need to be cards, but they are handy to have as cards because they're in the books.
Yeah.
So it probably just looked like a lot of cards on the table when actually we had 3 objectives at a time or something.
It adds depth. It adds depth to the game, and I think that's kind of where they're going. It feels like they're adding a lot of game outside of the game to make the game itself less static, less formulaic, and we'll come to that with some of the other points. So the Crusade mode to play seems really interesting. It sounds like a mixture of an expansion campaign and what they use for Warcry.
Yes.
So
things leveling up and getting traits, or
but you can the thing that keyed into me was when they said you can join somebody else's crusade at any point and you can play your crusade against their crusade, and that's how it works in Warcry. So I wonder if they'll use a very similar thing where you have those pivotal battles.
That works really well because you've got those like in Warcry, every few battles you have like your
I can't remember I don't know, convergence games.
Yeah. So that'd be cool to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do something like that. It's cool.
I mean, it works really well. People know it a little bit.
I mean, we're all big Blood Bowl players here, so we know that campaign games can get out of hand. If one team or army has had 20 games and another one's just starting out, it can be a tough factor. So if they've got that kind of inherent balance way to limit the missions or limit the growth, like they have in Warcry, brilliant. Really, really interesting. Really exciting way to grow it.
The all-new Crusade.
Let's turn the volume off. That's very exciting, though. So number 3 was start with more command points. Yep, talked that. Tanks are back on track, so they've announced that vehicles in combat can shoot wherever the heck they like.
Did they say that? Because I had
it says they can shoot, but I don't think it says wherever they like.
They did in the chat afterwards.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because they said they can shoot in combat, but then
that made me think AOS.
Yeah.
Shoot, you know.
No, was it Stu, the guy who looks a bit like Jude Law? The Jude Law of Games Workshop. He said they can shoot at the people that are in combat or anyone else they want.
That's awesome.
Could have been a flippant comment, but he definitely did say that because I remember thinking, you can shoot across units because that stops the elements of just a unit of grots mobbing a knight.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, that does actually make sense for tanks.
It does make a lot
makes
of
sense. Lot of sense.
There's so many tanks that already have that rule. It's just like, well, why doesn't every tank? You know,
just make it a rule because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, you cannot knock games designers who make things make a little bit more sense. So, could be cool. Again, we don't know the exact bits about that. 5, make terrain great again. I'm not sure if I should make that joke anymore, but that could be quite good. And 6 was the any sized army.
Yeah, that's the bit that excited me a lot, actually.
Right there with you, Ian.
Because actually, I think often in all games, there's a kind of, this is the points limit we play. We all play 2K, and anything else just doesn't seem as important.
Or really imbalanced.
Yeah. And actually, coming into it as someone, like, I play 40K occasionally, but not a huge deal. The kind of idea of painting up a 1K force appeals to me a lot more.
Oh, dude.
And then, that can naturally lead on. But
it will tie in really well with Kill Team.
Yeah, I think that's
like a bridging point sort of thing.
So you've got Kill Team, which is a pretty involved skirmish game. And actually, if they've got a way to just take standard units and find a way to kind of immerse standard 40k into a lunchtime game, man, that's really dangerous because 500-point forces will become 1,000-point forces in no time. And sooner or later, you won't be an occasional 40k gamer anymore, Ian. You'll be playing, once or twice a quarter like you do with AOS.
Hey. But, actually, in some ways, I'd rather paint, like 500 points of Primaris and then maybe 500 points of, Drakari or whatever. Because it just, keeps it a bit interesting. Maybe I don't want to collect a full 2k of one army. So
exactly,
I think it will appeal to a lot of people.
There's a big problem with the game where it's just like, if someone said, should we have like a 500-point game? Like, sort of part of me is just like,
what's the point?
Do we have to? Because it's not, after turn 1, someone will win. And then it's like, you just don't have much left because they're just too short. So I'm interested to see how they adapt the rules to kind of handle that.
Hopefully they make some decent adaptations and don't just say, hey, use everyone as their own individual unit, because that would be carnage.
Yeah, because I mean, we had a similar situation last General's Handbook with AOS when we had the meeting engagements. And I think slightly mixed on that one. I'm not sure if it has really taken.
It didn't land as well as we were hoping it would. We all kind of got excited at the prospect of, it was 1,000 point, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1,000 points, yeah.
Yeah, we thought, great.
Split up into different sort of subdivisions and they would come on at different times or things like that.
It's interesting that they took that element and they put that into Warcry though, didn't they?
Yeah, with your sword, shield and dagger, is it?
Yeah. And the really interesting thing is that back in 3rd edition Warhammer, that was also the case. You had the vanguard, the rear guard, and your main force. And you could deploy in different phases, which is cool. And talking about deploying in different phases, item number 7, be strategic with your reserves. I love the sound of this, guys. What did you think to this?
just straight out the odd editions, isn't it?
Yeah. So what they alluded to is as the game goes on, you'll be able to deploy your forces on the flanks, and as the game goes on even further, in the rear. So you don't suffer the Alpha Strike, and if you hold out for 2 turns, whatever you've held in reserve can then strike from the backfield. I think it's a really clever way of having the game kind of go longer but take less time.
It's more dynamic, isn't it? Definitely.
Yeah. You don't have that. I mean, like you said, Ben, at 500 points, you've got 1 turn and then that's it. You've just got what's left. Actually, you play 3 mini games or 2 mini games of 40k with the first team that's on the battle and then the second wave hit from both forces, and it becomes a swirling melee. Could be really good and could be a really dynamic way, especially if they focus more on things like CP and objectives. It could be a brilliant game, like an actually really good game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this.
I think it should change. Yeah, hopefully change up army composition a bit as well. So you're having to kind of factor that in, and particularly thinking about gun lines and things.
Yeah.
How they'll play when it isn't a static "come to me, I'll shoot you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, really interested to see how that goes.
I'm excited for that. Even just as a rules designer, it's really interesting to me how that works. And of course, the little video is absolutely brilliant. Come on, next one. Oh, have a blast. So I don't imagine that you guys feel great about this being primarily orc players.
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah. At first, when this was first revealed, part of me was worried and hoping. It was kind of like a fear, but also excitement that blast templates are coming back. But I'm kind of glad
that's exactly what I thought. No, they're just putting max blast against large units of infantry. I don't think they've declared how that works. But I mean, I'm sure it's just going to be a count of 20 plus infantry blast weapons do everything.
I think from what I heard is some weapons will be considered blast weapons and they get the maximum number of shots. Where you'll normally roll dice a number of shots. If they're a blast type, you get maximum against hordes of probably 10 or more.
Oh, okay. So things like I'm just trying to think of an example, like grenades.
Yeah, they said frag missiles. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead, like if you're shooting at a big blob,
it just counts as the max.
Counts as 6. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, very really interesting. It is going to be really tough when you sequence your shooting wrong and you kill one guy of a unit and then you're like, oh, I didn't use my demolisher yet, and now that unit is one person too small.
Yes.
I reckon you'll see people like tweaking their little numbers, like, oh no, I've got like a 19 orc boys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Enter the gamer. Love that. Love that. And the number 9 was aeroplanes performing differently. Now, I have not been lucky enough to use a flyer in 40k since they became literally a mainstream unit. I think, have you got the silver shoulder pad aeroplane, Ben?
Silver shoulder pad? Oh, the Corvus Blackstar?
Corvus Blackstar.
Yeah, Ian liked that one. Yeah, I've got him. He's all right though because he hovers. It's stuff like the Dakar jets which really would get.
You were kind enough to let me hit it with a dread, so that was fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Really cool. I'm expecting there to be slightly different rules for that.
Yeah, probably.
But no, it could be cool. Love having the planes. It will be interesting to see whether or not players feel like they get enough out of them because they're expensive models. And if you're only, I don't know. I don't think there's a plane that's less than £50 or so, is there?
Yeah, the Orc ones are pretty big models for the price. I think they're about 30 quid.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, but then but taking a unit that's pride of place in your army and then only getting to play with it for a couple of turns, would be rubbish.
Forced to fly it off,
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see the planes turn up every time. In Team Yankee, you have this situation where you've got planes and they have basically a reserve roll each turn to bring them on. Normally it's a 4+. Harrier jump jets go UK a 3+. So you get a little bit of a benefit to that, but it can be frustrating because it means that you may only get your planes for a turn or maybe 2 turns, and then you're like, I bought this, I painted it, I bought it on the list, and I didn't see. It was a bit of a concern.
Yeah, it's a balance, isn't it? Because they're either doing that or they're flying around in really tight circles, which sort of a plane wouldn't do. So
literally
really feel quite
showing it above the battlefield, waiting to get ambushed by a dreadnought.
Yeah, I reckon we'll see like
which comes on to the next point, with the terrain. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably see strafing runs and things come back. So I imagine they might get a bit more devastating, but you can only have them on for like half the game because they've got to fly off and come back.
And it could work well with blast weapons.
If they do, I mean, I'm excited because obviously with the saga of the there's a saga of the wolf, but actually it's saga of the beast because it's orcs. You know, they're better.
Orcs.
We've got the stratagem to crash your planes, haven't you?
Oh, that's fantastic! Yeah,
that was one of the ones I saw in your game. Either you used it or you were showing it off. One of the two. I think that was actually the card you dug out from the Magic the Gathering commander-sized deck of cards you were using and showed me. It was like that.
I did show you that. Yeah.
It's very, very cool. So yeah, those are some of the previews of the rule set. I know that as Games Workshop go, they will release stuff as it goes along, and they'll give us more and more as it leads up to the pre-order. The next cool thing is the app. So,
hooray!
I know, and unfortunately, the logo is wonky on that as well. It's a big deal, this. So, I don't think there's been any information about the app, has there?
Not really. They said it will help you build your lists in the stream. They didn't say, as far as I'm aware, that you could see data sheets.
Oh, this is such a... Well, where do you guys stand on this?
I think they really need to catch up on this. I think they're way behind. Especially when they're expecting you to have campaign books, your kind of main army rules, other sheets which get released for individual characters. They really need the rules online. And also, just from a kind of buyer's perspective, I want to be able to have a quick look on the website and see what does this stuff do.
I couldn't agree more.
You know, while I'm there, I don't have to run upstairs and get my codex.
I couldn't agree more. This is something that has got me to buy more stuff for AOS, I think, than any other.
Absolutely.
I'll be looking at the wall scroll, I'll be like, that's cool, that does cool things. I can buy that because it could be cool in my army. It's such a barrier to be looking through the 40k stuff, seeing these cool units and going, that is a cool looking unit. What does it do? For £20 you can find out. I'm like, well, no, it's fine, I just won't buy it. Like Sentinels, I was looking at Sentinels because I love Sentinels. So I was like, I wonder what the rules are for them these days. Never mind, and I never bought them. I would have bought them. I mean, I probably wouldn't have played with them in the end, but you know, I would have bought some stuff. And if they have those out there, and AOS does it in a really great way, doesn't it? Where you got the unit information, but if you want to use the special rules and the stratagems, you have to buy the book.
Your battalions and stuff.
But when you've bought 6 units, you're like, oh, I'll get the book now. I am clearly a guard player. I mean, Astra Militarum player now. I need the book. It'll be good. It will help my units that I've already bought get better. If they've got the data sheets in this, the War Scrolls would be massive. But
yeah, I mean, the thing is, in Battlescribe, they do.
Yeah.
So if this is looking to actually take ownership of that corner, then they really need to, I think.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to get people across if it's just, you know, they did on the website for a little bit with power, didn't they? And it just was rubbish. The
difficult thing is, I think there's significantly more options for 40k in units and actual options within it. So they may have just spent the last 2 years getting it done. But one of the great things about the War Scroll app is the app. I think, did the app sometimes update with the GHB stuff a little early?
Yeah, it did. It did. Yeah, you used to be able to see the War Scrolls in there before the actual things came out.
Yeah, maybe only for like a day or something, but it was still really exciting. Little Easter egg there. That would be cool if they could include stuff like that in the app. So the app, I imagine, will be a little while before it's out, but just please put the War Scrolls out available for everybody.
They also, something worth noting, they did say when you buy the books, you can unlock them in the free, which is a great addition, although I think it's only for the new books. I mean, I don't know how they do it for old books, but
that is really good, actually. I'm impressed with that. I mean, I still can see them doing a subscription service per book or for all the books. You know, I just don't think they're far off, and it just would make a lot of sense. So there is a new website that we'll have a look at in a second, although there's not a huge amount on there at the moment. Just some briefings of units, and then we got another spoiler video. Let's drop the volume of this down, which was the Necron guy.
The Quiet Monarch. Yeah, he's looking beast. I think they're going full Bone Reaper style base with this guy, you know, where it's like a huge
Yeah, like they did with St. Catherine, where it's like a diorama.
Yeah.
I'm personally not a fan of that kind of thing, but they make incredibly good painting projects.
They do. Yeah, in terms of game pieces, they're a little bit unwieldy, but they're cool. They look amazing. You can't.
I mean, I don't know if you saw, but in one of the shots, it looked like those two big shield elements were separately based.
It did look like that in the big army shots that we saw. Yeah, it looks like they can be moved around as kind of like shield.
There'd be like drone things.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be very, very, very cool.
Could be like a boss where you've got to, like in Lilac Wars, you've got to shoot them first before the enemy reveals his face, and you can blast that.
That would work. So on the 40k site, one of the first things we saw was this guy, which I wrote the name down in the show notes because it's not on the picture.
Yeah, the Scorpec Lord.
That's the one. The fact he's only got 3 arms troubles me, but other than that, it's a heck of a model, isn't it?
Oh, these are too good. These are just like completely changing Necrons in a very good way.
Yeah, so it's definitely part of this new war host that's been unearthed, because you can see it's dinged up. It's old. What are they called? Not war hosts, for dynasties.
Yeah.
From one of the new dynasty that the Silent King's been flying around the galaxy unearthing. So yeah, very, very, very cool triple leg thing. There is a unit of triple legged guys as well. I think I can grab the picture of that in a minute if it's not on here. They've got some of the art.
Scorpec destroyers.
That's the one, and there's like a little shield dude that goes along with it, isn't there?
The Canoptic Plasmacyte.
Ah, that's cool. Right, tell you what, let's see if we can't just have a quick look at that as we're talking about it. But yeah, with the new Necron stuff, looks cool. I know they haven't really compiled how it looks, what kind of everything is just yet, have they? I don't know if we can get. I just grabbed a photo from the interwebs. Let me see if we can.
I mean, one thing to say while you're doing that is, I know you were saying about the aesthetic there, Ben.
Yeah.
Bloodtithe. I mean, I don't know about you, but I found with the last incarnation, or the latest release, they lent quite heavily into the kind of Egyptian theme. I think this one feels a bit more balanced and a bit more. Okay, they're Necrons, but they take a few cues.
There's not much here which screams Egyptian. Like probably with the Lords, like they have a little bit of it going, but like these Scorpec guys, that
I prefer them. Yeah, I think it's less kind of hammy. It's
more just death robot, isn't it?
They look like the Anubis.
The Ashabti.
Yeah, that's right. The Ashabti.
Yeah.
From Warhammer.
And also the
blades.
The Ossiarch. Yeah.
The blade star. The Canoptech Plasmacyte is interesting. There's not really a good gauge of what size it is or what it could do, but hey, with the rules these days, it could be literally anything. There's the Scorpec Lord, and then I think this is on the other. This was on the this is on the website, so we'll bounce back.
Yeah, so it came as a response to some potato cam shenanigans.
Yeah, I think they're planning on talking about this later, weren't they? Don't you get that feeling at least?
Okay, here we go. Yeah, so this takes us into the next page.
The potato cam itself.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Can see that.
So, got that guy. We've seen the new Necrons and the Scorpec Lord. Does it get bigger? It does. There we go. That helps us with the YouTube. So yeah, very cool model. I think that'll be an absolute joy to paint.
Great. I agree.
And it doesn't
wear the hell out of that.
Yeah.
What I really like about that is there's some really clear features where you can really excel. But other than that, it isn't saturated in detail, which is often my gripe with Games Workshop models.
This would be easy to paint if you just needed to give it a quick job.
Yeah, but you could just go all in on those blades and the gorse.
Yeah, I mean, like they kind of have in the art in this picture.
Yeah.
Definitely some technique. So we'll skip Necron just for a second as we're here as a new Primaris Lieutenant.
Those Storm, as a Deathwatch player, those Storm Shields mean a lot. Like, Deathwatch players cry out for Storm Shield kits, and having new ones like that look that good.
As they look really good.
Yeah, I hope Deathwatch get access to these guys because that is fantastic.
It's what is it? That gun? It's
it's
Volkite.
Volkite,
Yeah.
The old
it's
Mechanicus.
It's that Heresy kind of weapon, is it?
Yeah, I think Admech have them.
Oh, okay.
Currently,
yeah, it's
outside of that.
Deflagrates the opponent, the target. I don't know. I never heard that word before either. Okay, Necron Potato Can. Let's have a look at this piece of magic. I love the annotations.
Yes. See, look, just zoom into that Silent King a minute, and we'll just check about that
in
base
the
thing.
top right hand side.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do this.
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot here.
Not at all. Just trying to make it so that it doesn't. There we go. We can zoom all the way in. So, which of these new shinies do you want to start with? This guy here?
Yeah, they are separately based, aren't they? The shields.
They are. Yeah.
There we go. Let's zoom right in. Let's do some detective work here. It literally feels like I'm in CSI.
Enhance.
Yeah, just keep enhancing. Yeah, those shields, they are very cool.
What I like about this over some of the other diorama ones we've had is that it's floating, so it kind of looks like it could be in the battlefield. Whereas the Ossiarch one and the Resistant one, they're really static. They're in one place. Yeah. Why are they moving around the battlefield like that?
It's so funny. Some of the OS stuff makes it look like you're playing an RTS. And build the palanquin here. You know, let's move the units around. So yeah, this got to be the Silent King with a Catan trapped, I'm assuming, to power his magical shield devices. That's just, from a fluff point of view, really interesting because they're exploring more stuff. They're bringing the Silent King back. It's really bad for the Imperium, surely to goodness.
Yeah, I remember the one line they said on the stream, which kind of struck me about the Necrons is, I think it was talking about this guy where he treats humanity as just like how we would treat a robot. It's kind of like the vice versa, where he's like draining the soul out of someone and it's not good enough. He's like, oh, this one must be broken. Just cast it aside. It's like this horrific act he's just performed on a human. And he just does it to the next one because that one was broken. It wasn't working properly.
I was really hoping they were going to bring back the old ones.
I know.
Because you could easily flip-flop the story to make the Necrons the good guys. Now, if the Necrons, if this drive is to push them against either Chaos or Tyranids, they could become the good guys here.
Yeah, I think there'll be an interesting dynamic.
If there's, just interesting, and it's good that they brought a different faction. So there is another model right here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What is this?
That's got to be a Catan. I mean,
is it maybe some kind of bound Catan again, but allowed to kind of?
Yeah, it's got it looks like a Necron Catan hybrid. Yeah. Actually, that's not fair. It looks like a Catan Stormcast hybrid.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of kind of Cities of Sigmar players licking their lips about some of these really
fancy.
Yeah, definitely.
Lord Celestin.
Well, and definitely more later when we come on to talk about the Admech.
Oh, there's so much good stuff going on. What do you think of the little digger in the background there?
Oh, this little dude.
Yeah.
He's cool, like a scorpion.
Sitting in the background.
Actually new?
I don't know. I've not seen it before.
I
feel like it is
something like that.
Yes.
Definitely.
The rider here is very similar to the one that's on the long, like.
There's another crawl. Oh, the barge.
There's a Forge World one.
Yeah, the barge.
But there is another crawler I've seen. Or maybe it's a Forge World and this is an update.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Another version of it.
So we've got the Scorpec Lord there. We've got some Immortals. We've got some new. I think these guys are new, right? With the fancy halberds.
Yeah, they look cool.
Lich card variants, kind of, aren't they?
Yeah, and these.
But again, what I was saying, less leaning into the obviously Egyptian, and I think they look a lot better for it.
They're their own thing. They are definitely their own thing. These Stalkers are quite cool. They look like
War of the Worlds.
Yeah, well, I was gonna go with Half-Life 2.
Oh yeah, no, I see that.
Yeah. I hated those things. So I think that would be quite good. This
like
is
big spindle drones, aren't they?
This is a guy that's been spoiled. Is that right? Is he even out yet? This guy, the one riding around on the Cryptek spider thing.
Is that not the Cryptek?
Might be.
Yeah, I feel like he's potentially out. But forgive our general ignorance.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on. So, and there's a few other new things here. It's this version of Necrons. They're creepy.
They're cool, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's really
like a
cool.
necromancer looking dude. Yeah.
You've got Necromancer. You've got these weird little machine slayer things. I think they could be great fun.
Blade arms. Maybe they're kind of... Because we had flayers before, didn't we? And these are maybe a
precursors
version of them.
And we've got this guy with all the guns.
Yeah, it's like a big destroyer lord, isn't it? This one.
It's just insane. It's like the basilisk.
Actually, destroyers are always the models that looked most awkward to me.
Yeah, this kind of looks a bit better than, like, it's still got obviously the frame, but it looks bulkier.
Yeah,
this
it's
looks
like
better.
a weird kind of centaur.
Yeah, it's very centaur.
I like him. And then this is cool. I don't know if that's the same size as the other Stalker.
I think that would be a variant. I think that would be the same kit.
It looks like it's got more legs.
It looks bigger. The legs look chunkier.
Could be closer.
It could be closer. It could be. You're quite right. Anyway, it looks like there's a potential for loads of cool units. And this in the very background. Have you seen this before?
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, there's so much here.
Let's see if we can't.
Enhance.
There you go. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, what is that?
That's damn cool.
I have no idea.
I love the head on that. That's very...
I'm going to say that's a special character.
Yeah.
Looks quite sciencey.
Yeah.
Mad Doctor.
Fabius Bio.
For the Necrons. Look, there's
that's
just...
the new monolith, isn't it? Like, obviously the big monolith. That's new, isn't it?
That's cool.
Yeah. So there is just so much here that it's going to be ages before this is all out, surely.
Is there a... I wonder if there's a... Because the previous one had a Catan shard thing, didn't it, before?
Well, it looks like a Catan golf ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was one, I think, with the shard inside, and it was kind of expanded, but there was just a normal monolith, which, didn't have that.
All really cool stuff, I think.
Really, really cool. Well, if this ties in nicely with a way to play 40k at 500 points, it just can you imagine the amount of Necron armies that are going to spring up?
Yeah, and the amount of silver spray and stuff that's going to get sold.
Agrax is going to be everybody's friend soon. Right, actually, I can zoom in, which might make it a little bit better.
Have you got an article on neon green yet, Ian?
I don't.
It might be your time to shine. Yeah. Hey, you did it really well with your smoke and stuff, with your magic smoke on the goblins, Ian.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
there you go. That's the next article on the Warhannam blog.
Born Necron player.
Sorry?
I'm a born Necron player in the waiting.
And to be fair, the metal you used on the Badger Lord, also really good. So, job done, really. Okay, so we've got some Primaris Assault Marines. Like the little shields add-on. These guys are starting to look a bit more grimdark.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are bulkier.
They're less cookie cutter Marines. More personality. I really like it.
Yeah, more personality is more better when it comes to models in the 40k, because they are just it's just all theme. And the one thing that Primaris weren't great at was they were really, really ultramarine. And these guys are ultramarines with extra add-ons. Although I have no idea why this guy is running with his sword holstered. Just crazy. So cool stuff from that. And then here's your shield boys, Ben.
Yeah, these, I don't even know what they are.
So this is Primaris veterans already?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Power swords.
I mean, the timeline has moved on quite a bit, actually. Already.
Yeah, it has.
I suppose, yeah. And the Primaris have been around. So, yeah, really nice models.
What I really like about these is one of my favourite kind of aesthetic Space Marine units before was the Honor Guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Ultramarines. And to me, these have a little bit of that about them.
They have a lot of it about them.
The helmet shape in particular.
Yeah.
Obviously, the wings, but it's got that kind of beaky...
I thought you were going to say the Space Knight element of it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there is that.
These guys...
Up, doesn't it?
Yeah. These guys look really Space Knightish.
Although the robe colour does make them look a bit like they've got a crop top. And a bit of a gut.
I'm thinking the gut.
Retired Space Marines here. A little bit nurgly. Actually, with a bit of conversion, these would be great for any Chaos Force as well.
Yeah, they would actually.
That's the dangerous thing there. So that's the first company veterans. And then you get some ridiculously low-riding bikes.
Akira.
This takes Akira. So this bike, I can only assume, is actually parked on the ground. Like it looks like Judge Dredd's bike from everybody's favorite 1997 movie. Just like, look at this guy. I'm the law.
It's like when you're like a young kid and you want to make like something out of a cardboard box, and it's like, this is a bike. And you take like an old wheelbarrow tire on the front.
So I'm loving the Lawbringer bikes. Very cool. It's just a bike. It's just a really big bike.
And I'm actually really glad about that. I'm glad we haven't got flying mini jet bikes or.
Well, they did say this, didn't they? The community was kind of like, oh yeah, they're going to get grav bikes, and then the poor gold boys are going to be really sad.
Yeah, because I found the hovering tanks a bit didn't really gel with me.
Yeah,
so it's nice to actually see conventional bikes, particularly for things like, White Scars and Deathwing that are so tied in with bikes.
I'm really sorry, but this looks like a pedal bike. It looks like he's cycling.
That pose in particular is that really upright. It does look like a trike.
Good posture.
It looks like a trike. It looks like Cartman from South Park, just cycling around. However, there will be a cool painting project, and like you said, guys, Deathwing, the White Boys, loads of good work there. And this.
Also now,
Judicia. I mean, I love the one that's going around. Did you make that, Ian, or did you find it?
No, it was from a mate of mine. The mask.
That needs a hat, but this is a heck of a cool model. This is really, really cutting the line here between 40k and Age of Sigmar.
This could be.
I'm going to convert that to Stormcast.
What do you mean convert? All you have to do is take the backpack off.
Head swap.
So it is a helmet, I think, isn't it? Or is that his face?
Otherwise, he's got problems.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Maybe they just had a spare head from the Necrons.
Survived a Gorse blast to the face.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even need to touch on that anymore. That's an insanely cool looking model. If there's a unit, great. Brilliant.
One thing I saw being talked about earlier, he's got a bit of an off-the-shoulder number going on there. Slipped his arm out. If you see the straps, and it looks like
this here,
a shoulder pad off on the other side.
Oh yeah,
he's got the Under Armour.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So interesting.
For why, I wonder.
So he that big sword.
Hang a sword on it.
It might be because he's got a massive sword. It's a very special Executioner blade. So number 4, Executioner Relic blade. If we're being really specific, the flattened head. Yeah, that's how you know it's designed for chopping the heads off bad guys. Yeah, super cool. So some great models coming out then. The downside of Games Workshop models is this here. So we don't know when they're coming out, but we do know that when they do come out, they will be more expensive than the stuff that is already out. So 1st of June, Games Workshop price hike happens on everything but 600, is it?
No, it's 400 items.
400 change out of 3,000.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
All right. So they do have a list you can click on.
Yeah, it's interesting because they did make a point of saying it's a lot of older stuff, but actually when you look at the list...
Yeah, I had a quick look. It's mixed, isn't it? There's Blood Bowl is there, but it's only going up a few pounds, and I know you can say that going up a few pounds every single time, soon enough it's gone out a lot of pounds. But,
yeah, I think most of the things are like 250-ish.
Yeah.
And for some models, that's up to about 20%.
It's tricky. So for me, like Blood Bowl, doesn't matter. You pay a couple of extra quid for a team, you're done with that team. If it's going to be line troops for armies, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, and I saw some like single characters have gone up when they're already quite a lot.
Yeah, the characters are very... The Vindicare Assassin's going up, and it's £19 at the moment.
Yes.
Which is
a small little dude.
It's a lot of money, that one.
Yeah.
I feel like the timing as well is a little...
Yeah, this could have waited.
It's a bit of a bad taste, but
it is tough.
You understand why they have to do it as a business. But the timing leaves a bit to be desired.
Well, while we're on that, Mantic Games Counter put a message out. So Games Workshop are raising their prices, and Mantic are changing the prices of all of their products by reducing them by 15%. So if you're a Mantic Games fan, 15% off sale going on now. So go and buy what you need.
If you're not a fan, you might be now.
Yeah, exactly. They've got some very, very cool stuff. So this some new stuff is going to be available to pre-order from May 30th. And it is this stuff here. So this came through today, which is cool. We've had a busy week already with Games Workshop. So Psychic Awakening, the next book, which is going to be Mechanicus, Knights, Chaos Knights, and Demons. It's written on the screen. I don't know why I'm thinking about this.
Including the latest units for Slanesh.
Ooh, more power.
So is Bile going to be in this book?
Oh, he's not Slanesh anymore, is he?
Is he not?
He's all his like forces of the spider or something like that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's.
Later.
Tell you what.
Oh, actually, no, you are right. I think there's like War of the Spider or something, isn't there?
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So no Bile.
I've got to say it because they're so far ahead with the releases and the previews. I'm struggling to remember what's actually out and what's not out.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? It's a bit muddy.
So there are some new bits that are coming out though. Let's zoom out a little bit and get this guy in the screen.
I thought it was already out.
Yeah, Tech Priest Manipulus. First seen in Kill Team. It's out in Kill Team. First seen in Kill Team Theta 7 Acquisitus box. Tech Priests are now available on their own. So it is out already, Ben, but you can now buy it on your own. Cool. That is it's a detailed model.
It's very AdMech. Just shove a whole load of cogs and guns on it, and
it's just cables everywhere.
Stick a hood on.
Looks like a fat pork. Oh yeah, very super blanche. They don't even need to convert that. Just going to end up with very fancy bases. These guys are cool. So, Ian, you're very, very in tune with AOS. Is anyone planning?
Yeah, just a few people.
So here are your Outriders for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, definitely.
Cerberus Raiders and Sulphur Hounds. Really, really cool models.
They are lovely.
All Outriders.
This definitely AOS. This less so. Because the faces, well, the cheeky head swap might be right.
Oh yeah, I think you would. Yeah, I mean those top helmets most definitely.
Yeah, they're just great.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Ben, have you got any AdMech yet?
Yeah, it was a good addition there. No, they've always interested me. I think I'm more of like if Dark Mechanicus come out, I might be looking more into that line just because I like that idea.
Chaos Knights are out, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it might be a maritime. just on the way. So the Tyraxii, Sterilizers, and Skystalkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these are cool. Well, we don't have the prices. We won't have the prices until next weekend.
£75. No.
Well, you never know. They cram these with a load of stuff. So let's just have a quick look. There's a load of detail. Apparently, these guys fly around and burn rodents in the AdMech stuff.
The owls.
The owls, yeah. And I can't remember what these guys do. I think they're just sharpshooter snipers. The AdMech stuff, they found a really good way to make it look alien instead of just humans with bits on.
Yeah, they've got a lot more of their own identity now.
These ones not so much, but these here, yeah, interesting. And then you've got this the Archaeopter.
Archaeopter, yeah.
Archaeopter. What are you guys? What are your opinions on the Archaeopter?
I think it would look great with some Gretchens in it.
But that's the same for every model, Ian.
Yeah, that's true.
Could be a cool. What are the sky goblins going to be called?
Yeah. Scuttlers.
Yeah, something like that. The sky scuttlers. Yeah, some cool opportunities there. It's quite cool. I'm not sure we've seen the rules for them yet.
No, just drops bombs by the looks of it.
Oh, here's something.
At least they'll be. Yeah.
The screen. Is it? I mean, I'm just thinking, which modern kits? Because obviously we had the Dakajet with the plastic screens. I mean.
Yeah.
The see-through screens. Are the newer flyers with those as well?
Well, wasn't the
So I mean, the Dakajet.
The Eldar Falcon had them in.
I said newer.
I don't know. I assume the new Space Marine stuff has got them as well.
I'm not sure.
That's just quite an interesting one. I didn't know if they kind of did that much anymore.
I mean, there's a lot of flat surfaces on this model, but the cockpit would be really interesting to paint.
I see that, and I dread painting
complete bugger to paint.
Yeah.
No, surely not. This is just going to clip on the top.
Yeah.
And then you mask off all the little plastic and try and paint the rim.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Prime it and no.
Prime it. Oops.
Yeah.
Interesting. It looks like a Soviet-era helicopter, the Mi-24.
It looks very Soviet.
And being painted in red doesn't, take away from that. It does look like they've got a little bit of paint either on the inside of that or around the edges on the glass there.
Amateurs.
Yeah, amateurs. It's got some rockets. It's going to be interesting to see how that unit performs. And then we've got a start collecting set for Adeptus Mechanicus with the boat tank.
This is nice. I always actually really like that tank. I know it's quite controversial. Some people hate it.
Oh, I like it.
Hovercrafty. I love it.
It's weird. Games Workshop have done a good job of taking some vehicles that look like vehicles from history. So this looks like your landing craft from Normandy, and the helicopters look like the classic Soviet helicopters. To tie that human element into it, it's a weird tank design. I mean, I assume it's grav.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I used to live near a hovercraft museum. I swear
the
thing was, this thing was parked outside as well.
And we got a hovercraft museum in Hythe, or the place where the hovercraft was made.
The inventor lived there, so we've got a nice blue plaque. So Christopher Cockrell, I think his name is.
We went to a school trip for that, didn't we?
Yeah, but over on Helen's side in Leon Solent, they've got the hovercraft museum.
Yeah, that's the one that was near me.
There you go. Well, when the world reopens, we'll have to go on a AdMech day out to see how this tank was invented. So start collecting box. I believe the tank has got 2 variants because they tried to sell you 2 boxes just underneath it. I can't remember what it says. The floaty tank. All right, feeling better about calling it a boat tank now. Could also be built as a Scorpius disintegrator, so you might as well get 2 boxes to make the most out of it. This is an incredible set that gives the AdMech an array of options. Depending on the value of the start collecting, you never know.
Well, I mean, presumably everything in there is useful. I don't know if you want to double up on the character.
That's always the downside, isn't it?
Yeah. You can generally stick it on eBay for a few quid, though, can't you?
And balance it out, yeah, absolutely.
Because I really like that model, so that would look cool as a painting project.
It would look cool as a painting project, or even cooler conversion for Dark Mechanicum. We've got another book here, Siege of Terror from Horus Heresy. Looks like everyone's involved there. You've even got salamanders on the crew.
I think it's the first wall protocol. I don't think that involves salamanders though. That's the Imperial Fist thing. That's a big deal of getting all the chapters together.
That is definitely a salamander.
That is, yeah. I don't know. I knew it involved a lot of Imperial Fist guys. But...
This riveting novella tells the final chapter in the story of the Sisypheum as the crew engages in a dangerous mission that could alter the fate of the galaxy. Well, we kind of got spoilers, 10,000 years worth of spoilers. And we got some kids' books here.
Oh, hey, that actually looks really good.
I love this.
Just imagine if these were choose your own adventure books, man. Can you just imagine how much carnage that would be?
I love those orcs. Look at them.
I know. This guy here.
What is with that rock formation in the background? Or is it a rock formation?
Yeah, Sigmar did it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's cool.
A chopper to the head had been turned into squid curry.
Yeah. And we got some pirate dwarfs on the go here. The Flight of the Caradron.
Cool.
Good times ahead. Clearly, this week got a few bits. The Tuesday night Q&A, hobby roundups throughout the week. Not probably featuring Ian this week, which is a bit of a shame. Ian, you need to sort your life out. So no Thursday night previews. So we don't have to worry too much about any immediate Blood Bowl releases. I'm keeping an eye out for the
the Snotlings.
So, Fate of the Dark Imperium. Speaking of the new edition, the Dark Imperium box is now last chance to buy. So, if you want some units that are about to be replaced, probably best way to do it.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they release those as a mini start collecting.
Yeah,
they probably will. Yeah,
they did that with Stormcast and Khorne, didn't they?
Yeah. But didn't they put half-sized units in there?
Oh, there was a few funny ones, wasn't there? Like 3 prosecutors.
Yeah.
I don't mean prosecutors. There's so many tours, isn't there?
Yeah, and unfortunately now the Judicior is in 40k.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
quite
is
hard to use the analog, isn't it? Like, okay, there.
That's the chaplain. Yeah. That's
Devastators, but with a new name.
Primaris Devastators. Right. That wraps up that one. No, so other news was the solo play scenario for Necromunda.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
So this is out on the website. You can download it. And Ian, you had a little read of this earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, it looks quite fun, yeah. So you're basically hunting down an ambot with your gang, and you've got to roll to see if you discover it or if it ambushes you. And different things affect that, and it has its own behaviour chart depending on... It's kind of a haywire ambot, which is reverted to kind of feral amble instincts. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like this bit.
Buy a box of ambots.
I've got a box of ambots somewhere actually. I've got them for Blood Bowl.
My ambot turned into a big mech.
Well, you all saw that coming. I like this bit here. You can even add a special rule which allows anyone who successfully completed the mission to include the ambot in their gang to represent them reprogramming it. Could be if you run a co-op one. Chucking it in there as a wandering monster could be really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, given that lockdown is still a thing and is likely to be a thing for a little while, if you're a Necromunda player, or even if you want to include this in a game of 40k, maybe it's probably not a bad starting spot. Oh, this was cool. I don't know if you guys caught this.
I saw it a while ago when they mentioned it. I think
they have got. I came across it and wanted to mention it because I saw it a couple of times, but it's just. So it is basically Aeronautica Imperialis, but on the PC.
Yeah, that's quite interesting because there was also one recently, which is I think Dakar Squadron, which was like specifically.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Was that an app game though?
I think it was Steam.
Oh really?
It looked like an app game. It looked pretty janky, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the people were complaining about the graphics on that, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it matters if the gameplay is good. I think it's going to be a great way to play AI. Because the difficulty with a game like AI is it doesn't have the mainstream following of 40k or OS, so it's hard to fit it into a club-night schedule unless you are like primarily an AI. I mean, we saw AI land, and it was yeah, I know, right? It really took off in our local club. It was plain for all to see. It became basically the second place game behind Blood Bowl in the club,
it's really committed guys playing it.
Yeah, and it's got a small model count. This is really useful. You've got Blood Bowl 2, so you can play those games solo or online. This could do that for AI, and we've got Underworlds, the game, out on beta now as well. Games Workshop are doing a really good job of getting their games out there, because being able to play the video game does not mean you don't want to play the tabletop. It just means you get to play it as well.
Have you guys had a chance to play it, AI yet? The new one.
The tabletop game?
Yeah.
I actually haven't played it.
Yeah, I've played a couple of games.
You have played a couple, yeah. Is it any good?
Yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. I wouldn't see myself sort of long-term playing it. I think you've kind of really got to be into your kind of aerial stuff and painting a lot of planes. But no, it was fun. So
that's the thing. It does take space in the in your gaming lineup.
Yeah,
and it feels a good niche. It's a good secondary game, I think. If you're either a 40k or an AOS player, having this as well as a bit of an amuse-bouche for wargaming could be great. But having the PC game means that someone like me, who can't give up their gaming nights because they're running Blood Bowl, I can actually still get some AI. I've still got a box of planes at home that I haven't built.
I've got all mine painted, so when you have them built, then we'll play. I haven't had a chance to use them yet.
Well, I've still got Ben's Orcs.
Yeah, I know. It'll take like 20 minutes to paint them up. Yeah, this is coming May 28th. I don't know if the price was on there yet. I think you might have to sign in to get the price, and I really cannot be bothered to remember what my Steam password was. So yeah, hopefully it won't be too much. If it's £20 or less, I think it's a really good win there.
Mm-hmm.
That is a white screen.
Nice.
We are into non-Games Workshop territory. So had a look at some stuff, and the whole idea of this web show is to go through what's going on GW, and also to show what else is out there. It's something we do really well on the podcast. Third-party, alternative sculpts, other units, something we really want to make sure that we get across here. And because Ben is our fabricator general and has a 3D printer, I thought we'd sneak this one into the show so you can see all of the different miniatures in there for fantasy. So Survivors of Serath, smashed the goal, 73k against a goal of 8,000. It's got 12 days to go. You can pick bits to go. You can pick miniatures. You can pick a core set. There's terrain. There's individual sculpts. It looks like there's so much. And the reason I've highlighted this is because the terrain looks perfect for Warcry.
I know. I'm really annoyed you showed this. I didn't see this in the show notes. This snuck past. The amount of times I've been hovering over the back this project button.
That looks really nice.
I'm annoyed that you brought it up again, because talking about it is not going to help.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video where they show like just how modular all the terrain is?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Can we find that video? I don't know where it is in the thing.
This is the one with Lord Hammerstripe.
Oh, that's cool.
The badger.
Look at the terrain, though. I mean, the gates, the cool. I did see that. This is it. The Eyes of Licton really was like, oh, this is worth knowing about. You've got orc terrain, you got standard chaos terrain, you got bits for RPGs,
So much.
different bits to go on people. They've got a whole load of stretch goals, and Ben, they're pre-supported.
I know, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I
if
know.
anyone's out there thinking of getting a 3D printer and you see models and they're pre-supported, that's basically add 20 quid to the value of it.
It's worthwhile. It saves you time, doesn't it? This guy's pretty cool. A steampunk dragon at 80,000. I don't think they're going to quite get there. Oh no, they might. They're at 73. So you could see this steampunk dragon released as well, Ben.
So you go with your rad mech.
Yeah, with your rad mech. That's another Celestant Prime for your AOS team. AOS.
No, they're very cool.
Dwarf terrain here, which is very, very cool. They're just a really interesting. So if you have access to a 3D printer or want to bully your friend who has access into a 3D printer, this might be worth. Look at that, man. Ian, you and I were talking before the show about a 3D printer being great for printing terrain, and if you had a game group binding together and getting one.
Yeah.
This terrain here would give you so many cool tables.
You can do just terrain as well on this pledge of I think 29 quid. You can choose miniatures or terrain or both, and it's
So
but, I mean, that's glossing over the models, but actually, if you go and have a look,
exactly,
they're really nice.
They're fantastic. If you're like an RPG player and you need a lot of
they've got quite a cool dark fairy tale aesthetic, which is really nice. She is lovely.
There was a big badger somewhere, wasn't there? I'm sure I saw that.
Yeah, down there.
Lord Hammerstripe. There you go for your battle badgers, fanboys. Badgers and burrows.
Burrows and badgers.
Oh, it's nearly there.
Loving that at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Ben. 29. You get no terrains, only the miniatures, or no miniatures, only the terrains.
Which is nice. It's very nice to have that option because, if you have one kind of printer, you don't really want the others, and vice versa. So it's cool that you can break up.
Yeah, the confusing thing for me is that you can buy each of those for £29 each, or for £70. Oh, there you go. You can get both and stretch goals.
Oh, okay.
So it's £10 extra for the stretch goals. It still doesn't matter. If you've got a 3D printer and you want some models, there's a ton here, an absolute ton. Probably worth it just for the terrain, in my opinion. But yes, I don't have one. I keep being tempted to buy one, but not quite just yet. I believe, let me just check, that takes us now to the next phase of the last segment.
Mm-hmm. Which
is going to be speculation time. the rumour engine time. I want your guys' opinion on this. There's two things to speculate, but the first one is the rumour engine for this week. What are we looking at here?
I think me and Ian both have the same idea with this.
Yeah. Are you thinking Kernothi /
I am thinking Kernothi.
Elf? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk about it being vampire, sort of soulblight, but for me, it's got quite like a kind of rosy thorn design on the hilt.
Absolutely.
And also just, I don't think that arm is buff enough at all to be a vampire.
It is definitely, it looks like an elf arm.
Yeah.
So the Kernothi kind of fit that.
Got some nice swirls as well.
My second question to you, the second bit of speculation, was given how far behind with releases Games Workshop are, when are we going to find out what this is?
Oh, months.
Because we haven't really had a chance to talk about anything AOS, because nothing was talked about AOS wise this week. But we've got the new High Elves, what are they called in
Lumineth.
The Lumineth Realm Lords.
Yep.
And we've got the Sons of Behemoth. Both have been spoiled. So Lumineth have been spoiled and their rules have been spoiled. So I think they're primed for a pre-release soon, right?
Yeah, I think that'll come soon, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe a couple of weeks' time, some of that stuff will come out. Then we've got the Sons of Behemoth. That's going to be 3 months away.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon a month or two.
I think it depends, how quickly they get things back up and moving, really.
The 40k stuff's going to take up a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, 40k stuff's going to take up a lot. Obviously, the Snortling release is going to slow everybody down because they're going to be so popular. But yeah, and so we're probably looking at a few months before we find out what this bad boy is, unless it's something not primary. But I think they're there with Underworlds this season, aren't they? They've maxed out their teams. Everything's been shown.
Yeah, still waiting for the.
Are they released yet?
The Iron Jaws to come out. No, because
okay.
They got shown at the board game show they have? Is it a German one?
Oh, Essen, yeah.
Yeah,
Essen
I think they were shown there.
Yeah. So there's those to come. We've got the Lumineth. We've got the Sons of Behemoth on the roll. There's so much waiting to come out that I don't know when we're going to find out what this is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic rumor engine, though, isn't it? I think we've had some which have been like a year or maybe two.
Oh, yeah. Ian's normally one who picks up on it. It's quite funny. It's quite funny. Right, guys, have we covered everything that we wanted to talk about today, do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Let me check the show notes, make sure there wasn't anything else, any pictures we snuck in. No, there wasn't. Fantastic. Right, well then, I will say thank you very much for joining me to talk through this, and thank you for being on the very first episode of Miniature Monday.
Pleasure.
Right, it's been great. It's been great to talk through this stuff. Hopefully we'll have you back next weekend and do the same again. But guys out there for watching, thank you very much for joining us. Drop us a comment below. Let us know what you think of the products that are coming out, and let us know if there's anything we've missed, because we can pick it up on the next episode. So we will be signing off for now, and hopefully we'll see you in a week's time. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.